Hey guys, Ningen here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And now, before you hit that dislike button, I know the title and the thumbnail of this video is pretty toxic. It's based on some jokes from yesterday with all the hubbub about the cooler being removed from the Beerus banner. I posted some memes. I was kind of playing devil's advocate. I know a lot of people were really mad about it, and some people for good reason. Some people I think were just being a little bit over the top, so I decided to play the opposite side and, you know, roll things up a little bit, because I mean, what can I say?
Bro, so toxic!
But I did say I was going to make this video while I was in the chat in my boy Toon Rami's stream, and someone who was in there, I don't even know who, because I'm pretty sure the name of the person who tweeted it at me is not the same as anyone that was in the chat, so I don't know who it was, but they tweeted a screenshot of it at me telling me that I had to do it. So here we are, showing off this movie bosses team with both Beerus and STR Cooler. So obviously, as the title kind of suggests, you can only run this team if you pulled on both of their banners, because Cooler did not return on Beerus's banner. Therefore, you could only get him if you summoned on his original banner, and then obviously Beerus is the new unit. Now, movie bosses is actually a pretty decent team for him. He links pretty well with the physical Broly. Let's see. So we got Beerus and Broly on the next rotation. So I guess we should leave. Actually, let's just leave Turles here for now, just because he'll take less damage than Broly will in the final spot. So we'll go ahead and do this. So I did talk about in the 55% showcase that Beerus is kind of weird on other teams, because he does require like really specific units to link with in order to reach his full potential, which is mainly the LR, Beerus and Whis. And then you have other options like Champa, who in himself is not that great a unit, so you probably don't want to bring him along just to be using him as a link partner for Beerus. Obviously the STR Whis is a good one if you pulled him from the new banner. I did not, but of course he will go into the general SSR pool, so people are going to have a lot of chance to potentially pull him during the 5-year anniversary, because of course he will be just in the general pool. So I did mention it in that video, but you can see here, so let me just move them again so it comes up. So we've got Prodigy, Shocking Speed and Fierce Battle between these two. They do also have Berserker, but Berserker only activates when you are below 50% HP. It is a 20% attack link though, which is pretty good. It's just the fact that we're probably not going to see it go off all that often. But yeah, movie bosses is definitely an interesting team to run Beerus on. But like I say, the whole point of this video is it's kind of just for the memes, because Beerus doesn't really fit on movie bosses crazy well, and then also like him being on the same team as Cooler, Beerus isn't in transformation boost, so Cooler is not giving him any sort of support buff, so there's no like real benefit to running them together. So like I said, the whole thing is kind of just a joke about the fact that you can only run them both together if you summoned on both of their banners. And so this is the thing that we kind of have to take away from this situation. Like, I know a lot of people are mad. The people I feel the most sorry for are the people who did summon for Cooler but didn't manage to pull him. I know people that went pretty deep on that banner and just had to give up because they just couldn't like summon anymore. They either couldn't afford more stones, or they spent as many as they were willing to spend, bearing in mind that the anniversary is around the corner. And so I feel bad for those people, because obviously they at least had the consolation, or so they thought, that they were going to be able to buy him from the Beerus banner. And of course we talked about it in the lead up to the banner coming out. We all sort of predicted that they were going to drop Beerus before the anniversary, because that's what they did with Kid Goku last year. So that kind of almost cemented in everybody's minds that Cooler was coming back right before the 5-year anniversary. And I think this is where the problem lies. Now, I've said it a lot. Goresh has said it as well. A lot of people. One of the big reasons why I like Global over JP is the fact that we know what is coming in the future. So it gives you the ability to plan better. Whereas obviously if you're on JP, like Cooler drops, you see some videos, he's like immediately one of the best TURs in the game. You want to summon for him because you have no idea when he's going to come back. Whereas on global, we get the idea of, okay, well, you know, he's going to come back on the Beerus banner. So now it makes the decision to summon or not a lot easier. And unfortunately, what we have to take away from this whole situation is that, yeah, things can change. And we've always known that. Like, units have changed on banners in the past. Things like global firsts, which of course, those are the changes that people actually get excited about and then start going off on the timeline about how global is superior. I mean, I've done this before. I will often overdo it to meme though, because I am a global main. But I do find it funny that, like, we'll get a global first, like LRUI Goku, who is super hype, and all of a sudden everybody's like up in arms about how great global is and talking about how the JP player base is big mad. And then this happens literally like a few weeks later, and now everyone's back to hating global and being mad at it again. Because they took Cooler off of the banner. So I do agree it's a dumb choice. Like, I personally benefited because I have Cooler and I didn't have Kaioken Blue Goku, and I pulled Kaioken Blue Goku from the banner. So obviously it worked out great for me. But I know a lot of people were not in that same situation. And like I said, I do feel sorry for some of those people. But one thing I will say, and I've talked about this before, like mainly when it comes to top grossing, is the thing that annoys me the most that I see is when people complain out of this sort of weird sense of entitlement. Like, when I'm talking about the top grossing, it's like you'll see people complaining about top grossing. Like, either A, we didn't get it, or B, we didn't get it quick enough, or C, we didn't get enough stones for top grossing. But I've unironically had people on Twitter when they've been complaining about these things, and I ask them, oh, how much do you spend on the game on average? And they say nothing. So they're completely free to play, they don't contribute towards top grossing, but then they're the first people to jump on Twitter and complain when we don't get top grossing. And I mean, I get it, like, as a free to play player, you want as many stones as possible, so you want us to get top grossing. But at the same time, you can't really complain about us not getting something that is a direct reward for people spending money on the game if you didn't contribute towards it. So, and that's the thing when it comes to these banners, is a lot of people deliberately decided to skip Cooler and not spend any stones because they just want to save all their stones and wail out for the shiny LR Blue fusions, safe in the knowledge that they can just go ahead and buy them with coins when they come back on the next banner. And yeah, unfortunately, that's not always going to be the case. Like, I said this way back when I did my Should You Summon for Cooler video, that yes, the blue fusions are amazing, but Cooler was just too good to skip for me. And it took me a lot of stones to pull my one copy. I was not particularly lucky on his banner, but I'm definitely glad that I went in and summoned, because, like, at the time I felt really bad about how many stones it took me to get him, but like now, being in the present and realizing that if I hadn't gone in on that banner, I too would be in that position where I couldn't buy stones, couldn't buy him with coins. I am obviously very happy that I decided to go that deep, because I think it took me 1,000 stones to get one copy of him, which, you know, he's such a great unit. I didn't feel too badly about it, but now with everything that's happened, I definitely don't regret it. So it's unfortunate, but it's one of those things. If you decide to skip a banner, you are actively, like, throwing caution to the wind that we may not know when that unit is going to come back again. And if it then turns out that that unit doesn't come back for ages, unfortunately, that's a situation that you put yourself into. Like, I've seen a lot of people that play Dokkan with this mentality of, like, this character is my favourite character, so I'm going to summon for them. Like, I don't care if the anniversary is literally tomorrow. This character's my favourite, I'm going to summon for them. And I do kind of feel like that is a good way to play the game, as long as you're not, like, super fixated. Because if you're a whale, or obviously like me, if you're a content creator, like, it's very important for me to, within reason, I guess, like, I still have my, like, monetary limits, but it's very important for me to pull every unit so I can make videos on them and do all that other kind of stuff. But obviously you got to remember, like, whilst there are the top units in the game who can demolish every single event, you don't need any particular units. So if you decided to summon for Cooler because you really like him and you pulled him, it took you maybe a few more stones than you expected, And so then when the anniversary rolls around, you don't have as many stones as you maybe would have before. And then let's say maybe you only pull Gogeta and not Vegito. I mean, that's absolutely not the end of the world. There's nothing in the game that you are now unable to beat just because you did not pull the LR Fusion. So it does come down to personal preference a lot of the time. Obviously, if you're free to play or you can only spend a little bit of money and you want to have the best units or to have as optimal a box as possible, you do need to be careful about how you summon. But I feel like, yeah, people get really mad about the fact that they skipped a banner and it's like, oh, and now I can't get this unit like now with my coins. It's like, well, you chose to skip the banner, which means you obviously weren't that bothered about getting the unit right there and then. And that's the thing I've always said. People will say to me on like when I post my should you summon for videos, I'll always see people that are like, nah, I'm just going to skip and get him when he comes back. And like, even taking out the fact that I'm a content creator, like, I don't want to wait like 6 months for Cooler to come back. I want Cooler right now. And so that's why I summoned for him. And yeah, unfortunately for a lot of those people that did take that kind of mentality, this situation has now arisen and you are unable to get Cooler. And unfortunately, because of the schedule on JP and how things have gone since the anniversary, we don't know when he's going to come back again. Now obviously the best guess that people have at the moment is the 350 million download celebration. I feel like that is probably very likely to be the case, but we just don't know, unfortunately. So it's a very weird situation to be in at the moment, and who knows what's going to happen going forward. So I think it's just something we all have to bear in mind from this point onwards, that you need to now be even more careful than ever when it comes to deciding what banners to skip and what banners to summon on. Because obviously Akatsuki, like, no idea why they made this decision. Like, I think I might have said this already, but don't get me wrong, like, if it was up to me, I would absolutely not have changed Cooler for Kaioken Blue Goku, even though I didn't have Kaioken Blue Goku. I don't understand, like, if their main goal is just to make more money out of the player base, take off transforming Vegeta and put Blue Kaioken Goku on it, because then the banner becomes insane. Like, Beerus, Whis, Blue Kaioken Goku and Cooler, like, so many people who were probably just going to skip the banner would now be really tempted to summon right before the 5-year anniversary. And that should be what Akatsuki want people to do, right? They should want us to summon on every banner, so then we have to keep buying stones for the next banner, or for the, obviously, you know, they know that people are going to be trying to save for the anniversary. So it's no joke when people call these banners that are, you know, are right before the anniversary bait banner. Like, LRUI Goku was a bait banner. He's an amazing unit, fantastic, but like, do you really want to be summoning on a legendary summon banner, which are notoriously bad at times, when we're like a few weeks away? Well, I suppose at that point we were probably still 6 to 8 weeks away, but with the anniversary right around the corner, like, you really don't want to be dropping all your stones at that time. And that's what, in theory, they should be doing. They should be making these banners more attractive to players, so that they waste their stones and then have to buy more, right? Because it kind of feels like, why introduce the red coins if you're then gonna, like, take away units from banners that people were specifically saving to get the coins for? Because one of the things Goresh has said there is this whole thing kind of feels like they're out of touch with the global player base. Like, they must have known that people who skipped Cooler wanted to summon on, wanted to get him from this banner, even if it meant not summoning and just buying him with coins. Like, they must have known that people were planning to do that. And now, I've even seen some people go as far as to say they did it on purpose to punish people for not summoning on the Cooler banner. But to me, that doesn't make any sense, because, like I said, obviously their end goal at the end of the day is to make money. So if they start making stupid decisions out of, like, pettiness just to punish, like, certain parts of the player base, that's a really good way to kill your game really quickly. So I definitely don't feel like that was the reasoning behind it. But it just seems like a really, really strange decision to make. But I think it's just because Cooler is so good, right? Because in the past, units have changed on banners and people haven't had this kind of reaction. Like, people still get mad, especially when it's a unit that maybe they wanted more so than certain other ones, but like, I feel like this is definitely the most visceral reaction that we've seen to a banner change in like recent history. Because even on like was it the Piccolo banner and the Future Gohan banner, there was like a minor change that was made. But obviously, because the unit that was swapped out, I think no one really cared about. Obviously, no one made a huge deal out of it. But that is basically the same thing. Like, someone could have been in the situation where they wanted to buy that particular unit from the banner with red coins, and then Global changed it to someone else. And it just didn't get as much attention because that unit is obviously not as hype as Cooler. And I mean, this is one of the things that we talked about way back with the Should You Summon for Cooler, is the 5-year anniversary. Both the LRs are on transformation boosts. I mean, Realm of Gods now is insane, but there is definitely arguments to be made that transformation boost is one of the best teams in the game. Oh great, I died. So yeah, so if you didn't get Cooler, you are now not able to, even if you pull both the fusions, you don't have the best leader to run them under. So it's a very interesting situation. But there you go. I'm going to actually leave that in because I feel like that's a very fitting ending to this very toxic idea for a video that I actually died. Because I think any unit other than Cooler taking the super that turn, we probably wouldn't have died. But there you go. So the whole point of the video, it was mainly just a bit of a troll. I did want to get out some of my opinions about the stuff that's been going on. I know some of it was quite rambly, so just let me know down below. What do you think? What points do you agree with? What do you disagree with? Obviously, I am just out here acting the fool. I'm not trying to like deliberately make anyone mad. If you are one of those people who summoned for Cooler and didn't get him and now are unable to get him now, I'm obviously, like I say, I do feel bad for you. But yeah, I guess let me know what you guys think down below. So who knows? I mean, I'm still a proud global main. This is a dumb decision. I can't argue with that. But I definitely don't consider it to be like one of the all-time greatest global shafts or anything like that. But I guess everyone is entitled to their own opinion. So let me know what you think down below. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. You can follow me on Twitch or join my Discord. The link is in the description below. And I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.